Our choices are not entirely our own, because even in the supermarket, the menu is crafted not by our choices, nor by the seasons, nor where we find ourselves, nor by the full range of apples available, nor by the full spectrum of available nutrition and tastes, but by the power of food corporations. There are over 8 million people in New York City. This means 8 million faces, 8 million stories, and most importantly, 8 million meals. What we eat makes us who we are. And in a city with so many people, it's no surprise that our foods have differences too. With people from all over the globe, New York City is like one big international market, and we all rely on one market or another to meet our daily food needs. To better understand our eating habits, let's take a look at one popular supermarket, Whole Foods. You love it or you hate it, either way they're making money. Today, Whole Foods is the world's leader in natural and organic foods and is now international, with 440 stores in North America and the United Kingdom. Founded in Austin, Texas, Whole Foods opened with more than half a dozen natural food supermarkets to compete with in the United States. It was the idea of 4 local business people who decided the natural foods industry was ready for the supermarket model. The original Whole Foods market opened in 1980 with a staff of only 19 people. However, it was an immediate success. Now let's take a look at their meat. Meat at Whole Foods is advertised as grass-fed beef cattle from family ranchers in Northern California, Southern Oregon, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado, all on USDA-certified organic pastures. All over their website, they claim to care deeply about animal welfare. However, according to the Washington Post, their treatment of animals may not be so ethical, particularly at a pig farm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. An undercover animal rights activist who worked for PETA said, "If you've ever shopped at Whole Foods, you may have seen signs posted in the meat department that say things like, 'Enriched environment' and 'Treated humanely.' But what a PETA investigator documented at a Pennsylvania pig farm that supplies Whole Foods reveals that these signs are probably worth less than the recycled paper they're printed on." And while the company may not be as selective as we thought when it comes to their meat, they certainly are very selective when it comes to what neighborhood they're in. The grocer has been known to employ stringent demographic requirements in selecting its location, in particular seeking store locations in areas with a higher density of college-educated residents. However, the grocer's newest proposed location in Maryland's Prince George's Riverdale Park illustrates how the chain is eager to tap the strong demand for its offerings across more communities. More than likely, however, the neighborhoods they continue to choose are centers of gentrification. If anything, they're simply investing in neighborhoods that are certain to have better tomorrows. If there's one thing we've complained about at Whole Foods, it's the price. A lawsuit brought by the city attorney's office in Los Angeles, Santa Monica, and San Diego has resulted in Whole Foods being ordered to pay nearly $800,000 in settlement fees for charging more than the advertised price for a variety of items. An investigation concluded that Whole Foods failed to deduct the weight of containers when ringing up charges for self-serve foods at the salad bar and hot bar, giving customers less weight than the amount stated on the label for packaged items sold by the pound. Whole Foods has also been under fire for selling a bottle of water with 3 stalks of asparagus priced at $5.99. Now you'd imagine the backlash this received, so let's see what Whole Foods had to say on the ordeal.
Whole Foods now says the drink was supposed to be water infused with the essence of vegetables like asparagus, but was made incorrectly and it's been removed.
And of course, such a ridiculous excuse couldn't escape commentary by John Oliver.
Yeah, that doesn't sound any less terrible.
Oh, we won't just sell you asparagus stalks in a jar of water. We'd take the asparagus out first and then sell you the jar of water. That way, we could call the leftover wet asparagus artisanally moistened and sell it for 3 times the price. It's the Whole Foods way.
Now on the other hand, we have Trader Joe's, which we all know as cheap and still seemingly healthy. The supermarket chain was created in 1958 by Joe Cullum in Southern California. In 1979, the supermarket chain was bought by German entrepreneur Theo Albrecht of the Aldi Nord supermarket fame. Since his death in 2010, Trader Joe's has been owned by a family trust established by him. While Trader Joe's is technically owned by a German trust and sells a great deal of international and ethnic foods, the chain still retains the essence of an American supermarket. Trader Joe's is known for having environmentally friendly and sustainable foods, as well as having products that are healthy and free of preservatives. In 2007, the supermarket chain began phasing out imported foods from China. This was due to concerns that regulations in China were not strict enough, as they should be, and that the food could be tainted. Between 2012 and 2013, Trader Joe's also removed 6 unsustainable species of fish from their stores in an attempt to protect the oceans from overfishing. They even made a visual to show how much they care. In reality, Trader Joe's is very secretive about where their food comes from and what their food contains. They do not provide the country of origin for most of their products, and it has also been reported that Trader Joe's sells food made by private suppliers under their own brand name, such as Amy's Organic Chili or Annie's Mac and Cheese. Trader Joe's insists on keeping these relationships secret as it creates a loyalty to the Trader Joe brand. This hurts the consumer because they aren't able to find out what exactly is in the products they're purchasing, and they aren't able to decide which companies are getting their support. Due to their secretive nature, it is impossible to know what is in the food, what conditions the food was made in, and whether or not the foods contain GMOs. Unfortunately, Trader Joe's does not actually check if the food contains GMOs themselves, but rather they entrust the responsibility to the companies they purchase the food from. Trader Joe's also doesn't tell their consumer what environmental impact the production of their products might have. Of course, like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's is very selective about where it's built, even though their products seem more economically practical. As of April 22, 2015, Trader Joe's had 457 stores in the United States, about half of which are in California. There are 3 Trader Joe's in Manhattan, 1 in Queens, 1 in Brooklyn, and 1 in Staten Island. Trader Joe's tends to be located in more affluent areas, but its affordable prices attract consumers of all demographics. Although 46% of its shoppers earn a household income of over $100,000, the supermarket chain still targets small families, couples, and singles, and it is popular among young college students. Since both of these popular chains seem to appeal to more upscale neighborhoods, where does this leave the rest of New York? What's happening to the supermarkets in their neighborhoods? Well, let's take a look at Bensonhurst. In the late 70s, a Waldbaum's, owned by the Great Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company, also known as A&P, opened in the neighborhood. The store prided itself on selling American goods, with emphasis on American. There are no specific ethnic aisles, but more ethnic products can be found dispersed throughout the supermarket. So unlike in other places where Goya products might be found in the Latin American food section, in Waldbaum's you'd find Goya beans with beans, and Goya frozen veggies in the freezer aisle. The store had a standard selection of fruit and vegetables, but finding anything organic or free range was a bit difficult. Prices in the store were considered affordable. Elderly people and families were able to shop here and always managed to get good deals, as the store always had sales and promotions going on. However, in July of 2015, A&P would file for bankruptcy, thus selling the store to the highest bidder. On November 19, 2015, the Waldbaum's in Bensonhurst officially closed, just a week before Thanksgiving. To this day, Bensonhurst residents don't have a local supermarket that they can rely on. In place of the Waldbaum's is now a J-Mart chain, which has created a lot of racial tension in the neighborhood, as you can see in comments like, "The problem is that these were nice neighborhoods, and floods of Chinese have moved in. And now there is litter everywhere, and the majority of them do not try to assimilate. The stores are dirty and do smell bad. I don't think the people crassly complaining are racist. I think they just want their neighborhood to still be a neighborhood and not become another Chinatown. I have lived in a neighborhood not too far from there my whole life, and it isn't a nice thing. It's a cultural issue and a neighborhood issue, not a race issue." This is from a community forum, by the way. People in the area have to make their way to other neighborhoods now, such as Bath Beach or Decker Heights, which can take up to half an hour to get to on a good day, just to get their shopping needs fulfilled. And if they do want to stick to better quality food, they need to go all the way to Whole Foods in Gowanus or Trader Joe's on Atlantic Avenue. As shown in the case of Bensonhurst, New York's rapidly changing environment has greatly affected what we're able to eat in our neighborhoods, and in many cases, a lot of us are left without proper places to buy our food. Now, outside of the realm of supermarkets, we also see smaller local specialty grocers dying out. Take Owa African Market. Founded in 1994 to meet the demands of the then large African and Caribbean population in its neighborhood of Clinton Hill, it was initially a clothing store, but due to popular demand, it quickly became a general store for African goods. People who did not want to commute from the larger African communities in the Bronx would be able to find many of their goods here, from Nollywood films to religious items. Today, the Black population in the area has significantly reduced, and Owa African Market struggles to find a proper consumer base. Owa isn't a special case, and we see stores like these disappearing from New York City every day. And so with seemingly big and healthy, but inaccessible supermarkets overshadowing the little guys that once fed us, the future of food in New York City seems uncertain. However, hope is not lost as many neighborhoods are undergoing developmental changes that oftentimes bring supermarkets with them.